Hey there, and welcome. If you're just starting to learn English, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to get you ready for the real world by helping you master the 5 most important conversations you'll probably have. So, let's just dive right in.
So, just imagine this. You've just landed in an English-speaking country. What's the first thing that's going to happen? Well, you're going to meet someone, you might need to give them your phone number, maybe make a call, grab a taxi, and of course, get something to eat. This guide is all about handling those moments like a pro.
All right, first things first, let's talk about saying hello. Meeting new people is how every other conversation gets started, so we're going to make sure you have a really strong start.
This right here is your go-to phrase. It's simple, it's polite, and it gets straight to the point. The most important thing is a friendly tone. Listen again. Hello, I'm Diana. What's your name? Go ahead, give it a try. Say it out loud.
And here's the classic reply you'll give. My name is Peter. See how that flows? It's nice and smooth. Now, let me show you a little trick that's going to make you sound way more natural.
Okay, this is a huge tip. Native speakers, we almost always use contractions when we talk. So saying my name's instead of my name's is, or I'm instead of I am, it just instantly makes your English sound so much more relaxed and natural. It's a tiny change, but trust me, it makes a huge difference.
So after you've exchanged names, the conversation usually turns to where you're from. Someone might ask, "Are you from Japan?" Notice it's a simple yes or no question, and if the answer is no, it's super easy to correct them. "No, I'm from Brazil."
Now check out this fantastic little word, whereabouts. This is like your secret weapon in a conversation. If someone tells you their country, like I'm from Scotland, asking, "Oh, whereabouts?" is a really polite and easy way to ask which city. It really shows you're interested, and it just keeps that conversation going.
Awesome! You've totally nailed the introduction. So let's move on to the next logical step, which is sharing practical info, like a phone number. Okay, look at this. This shows you exactly how we say phone numbers. Instead of saying big, complicated numbers, we just say each number one by one. And we often put a little pause in there, like 294, pause, 587. And here's the biggest tip. For the number 0, we almost always say O. So 0183 becomes 0183. Pretty simple, right?
These phrases, think of them as your superpower. Seriously, don't ever be afraid to use them. If you're not sure about something you heard, just ask. It's so much more important to be clear than to just nod along and pretend you understood. These phrases put you in control.
All right, let's build on that. I know making a phone call in a new language can feel a little scary, but just like before, all you need are a few key phrases to have a totally successful call.
So, when someone picks up the phone, these are pretty much the 2 most common and polite ways to ask for the person you want. "Can I speak to Jody, please?" is a little more formal, and "Is Jody there?" is a bit more casual. Honestly, both work perfectly.
So what happens if the person you're calling isn't there? Well, you'll probably hear a simple phrase like, "I'm sorry he's out," or "She's not here right now." It just means they're not at home or in the office.
This is a really helpful question you'll hear a lot. If the person you want to talk to isn't around, the person on the phone will probably offer to take a message for them. It's a very common, polite thing to do.
And this is how you can leave a really simple, clear message. You can just ask them to call you back, or, even easier these days, just ask them to send you a text. And just like that, you've done it. You've handled a phone call in English.
Okay, you've made a call. And now you actually need to get somewhere. It's time to feel confident, wave down a taxi, and get exactly where you need to go. If you find yourself in an airport, you are going to see these 3 words everywhere. Arrivals is where you come in. Departures is where you leave from. And check-in is where you go to get your ticket. Knowing just these 3 words will make getting around the airport so much easier. Honestly, this is the one sentence you really need to get where you're going. It's polite, it's super clear, and it gives the driver all the info they need. Just remember, "Can you take me to," and then your destination, please.
Now this is a really useful thing to know. Before you start the trip, you can ask, "What's the fare more or less?" That's how you get an estimate of what it might cost. But then, at the very end of the trip, you ask, "How much is that?" to get the final price. See the difference?
And here's how you wrap it all up. You ask for the final price, the driver tells you, and then you can simply say, "Can I have a receipt?" if you need one for your records. And boom, simple, efficient, and you're at your hotel.
Wow, you've had a busy day. You've arrived, you've met someone, you've checked into your hotel. Now for the best part, getting some food and a drink you definitely deserve. Look how easy this is. Ordering can be so simple. You just say what you want and add please. A pint of lager, please? Then you can use that same exact phrase from the taxi. How much is that? That's it. A whole successful conversation in just 4 short lines.
And there you have it. We've just walked through the 5 key conversations that are really the building blocks of your first day speaking English. From introducing yourself all the way to ordering a drink, you now have the essential phrases to handle every single one of those situations. So really, the main thing to take away from all this is that you are ready, you have the tools you need. The only real question left is where are you going to use them first? Think about it. A coffee shop in London? A taxi in New York? The journey is all yours. Go start